Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and mental health educator. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. It's late at night, folks. Anyway, the title of today's video is, Why is Michelle Obama Depressed? But before we answer that question, we have to tell our usual opening joke. And did you hear the rumor about butter? Well, I'm not going to spread it. All right, well, this is a current events video, and recently my partner Joan brought my attention to an episode that aired on a morning news show called CBS This Morning. It was part of their series called Stop the Stigma. And when they talk about Stop the Stigma, they're talking about the stigma that still overshadows associated with mental health disorders. Anyway, they talked about how Michelle Obama, former First Lady, had a new podcast going on Spotify, and in this one of her episodes, her latest episode, she talked about that she was suffering from, quote, low-grade depression. And when talking about the cause of the depression, she said, well, it was really based on the coronavirus pandemic, which is driving everybody nuts, right, and the recent racial tensions in the United States. This is what Michelle Obama said, as quoted on the show CBS Good Morning. I have to say that waking up to the news, waking up to how this administration has or has not responded to the pandemic, waking up to yet another story of how a black person has been demonized, hurt, or killed, it's exhausting, and it has led to a weight in my life that I haven't felt in a while. So, what does this tell us? First, it tells us that depression is an equal opportunity disorder. It affects people in all walks of life, and I remember this great line from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, American poet, who said, "Into each life some rain must fall, some days must be dark and dreary." So, Michelle Obama, a wonderful individual, a loving family, best-selling book, a large following of people who love her, a new podcast, and yet even she can fall into a depressed state. Michelle Obama's experience also demonstrates the difference between two types of depression that I learned in graduate school. I don't know if these terms are still used today, but I find them particularly helpful. The first kind of depression is called endogenous depression, or biological depression, that originates in the nervous system in the brain. It's called endogenous depression, which means depression coming from within. The second type is called exogenous depression, or reactive depression. This is the kind of depression that's stimulated or triggered by external events. It is depression coming from the outside. The best way to solve the kind of reactive depression that Michelle Obama is dealing with is to solve the problems that are bringing on the depression. These often include relationship issues, health challenges, financial stress. Here it's really important to seek professional help to learn how to, approach these problems in a different way and find new ways of coping. Now there's the other kind of external stress that you have no control over, like the pandemic that is driving many, many people, millions of Americans and millions of people around the world, to distraction. Here's where the serenity prayer of Alcoholics Anonymous comes in handy. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we can't control the prevalence of the virus or how the government is or is not responding to it, but we can control our response to it and our thoughts and feelings that we have within. Normally, you wouldn't think of reactive depression as being as serious as biological depression like we find in disorders such as manic depression or schizophrenia. However, if the situational depression is intense enough and lasts a long enough time, it can morph into a biological depression such as we see in major depression that has physiological symptoms such as loss of appetite, disruption of sleep, loss of sexual desire, also feelings of worthlessness, inappropriate guilt, chronic sadness, and the worst case scenario, suicidal thoughts and feelings. Of course, this is what happened to me when 3 relationship breakups led to 3 nervous breakdowns. The moral of the story is that even if your depression is triggered by external events that have nothing to do with you personally, if it gets serious, it's important to reach out for help and seek treatment. At the same time, you can employ the practical tools and coping strategies that we talk about on this channel. For example, Michelle Obama says to manage her depression, she keeps a regular routine, reaches out to family and friends, and participates in regular exercise. Sound familiar? As we like to say, it takes more than a pill to heal from depression. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it and enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. The more likes we have, the more likely YouTube is going to recommend future videos. You can also leave your comments in the comments section. They're always so wonderful for me to read, and you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, click on my photo in the closing credits. You'll be taken to the subscription page. You click on the subscribe button, and just to the right, there's a little bell. If you click on that, you'll be notified every time we do a new video or a new live chat. And if you want to contribute to this channel, as so many of you have, click on the Patreon image. You'll be taken to my crowdfunding site where you can support us for as little as $2 a month. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thanks for watching.